Welcome, everyone. It is the Wealthy Speaker live on LinkedIn. Today, I'm hanging out with the amazing, we call her the Iron Jen McDonough. She is the leader of the Emerging Speaker program at the Wealthy Speaker School. And every day, she is helping our students move from free to fee. Welcome, Jen. Tell everybody a little bit about what you do outside of the school, about your day-to-day speaking business.
Yeah, hey Jane, hey everyone, so nice to meet you. Well, I love emerging speakers, move businesses forward within the Wealthy Speaker School. But when I'm not doing that, I have my own business over at theirongen.com, and I help leaders strengthen the leader within through resiliency. I have a hoot of a time doing keynote sessions, both virtual and in person. I do workshops and I love it. This particular month and next month are jam-packed for my schedule. And so I was delighted that Jane scheduled it today because it's literally one of the only days I'm not speaking here this next 2 weeks. I've got a lot of travel, a lot of virtual stuff, and I am loving it. Bringing home the bacon, getting to impact people around the country, and just having a great time.
Hey, if you're listening in, if you're tuning in to us on LinkedIn Live, on YouTube, on Facebook, let us know. Give us a shout out in the comments section. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And if right now you speak for free or for fee, would love to know that. Jen, we never really know if there's going to be like a ton of people, a few people. We just have no idea about that. So we're going to see if we have any engagement here today. One of the things that I just want to recognize you for is a year ago, you were actually like almost anti-virtual. You weren't really into the whole virtual thing, and now you are out there blowing it up. You are getting feedback. Best virtual speaker I've ever seen. I mean, way to go, Jen. You just decided, what, about 6 months ago to just like embrace it. I'm in. I'm going all in on virtual, and you got all the setup. Congratulations, Jen.
Oh, Gene, thanks. I'll be honest, I came into this virtual thing kicking and screaming. And I'm like, yeah, I'll kind of wait it out till this whole COVID thing blows over. But then I got my first booking, and I actually was like, listen, if I'm going to do virtual, I'm raising my rates 40%. Like, this is a lot of work. And that goes for getting me on a plane nowadays. Like, you're going to be paying me. And so I actually got my first booking. This is the only reason I started with the virtual, because I got my first booking, and then they sent the full price, and then they sent the deposit check. And I kid you not, I held on to that check for 2 to 3 weeks before cashing it, because I thought, if I cash this, like, now I am committed. And so finally cashed it, and kind of forced myself through that whole discomfort of learning about it, and I'm loving it today. Loving it.
I love it. Hey, Dean Henke's joining us. Digital is and has been a great way to generate more and massive income. And when we were talking about free to fee, a great model to serve speakers and audiences alike, free in no way means you're not getting paid. So just for the purposes of today's conversation around moving from free to fee, there are a lot of ideas out there on how to make the back end work for you. We just interviewed Scott Love for the podcast. He has a big legal search firm. And so he speaks for free because he makes a lot of money on the back end. And if that is how you do your business, great. Just know that here at the Wealthy Speaker School, we teach people how to get paid to speak. And so moving from free to fee is often a part of the process. Thanks, Dean, for chiming in there. We love that you are listening in. So one of the things that I would like to walk you through, we actually have a 4-step strategy for moving from free to fee. Okay. Step number one, you'll see each of these at the bottom of the screen, is to shore up the value. We call this, Jen, be good marketing. Like, let's make sure when you get out there that your speech is your number one form of marketing and that you're providing amazing value for your audiences so that when you go to charge, you're going to feel like, of course, they're getting their value's worth. What do you think about that, Jen?
Absolutely. I agree 100%. It's no better form than marketing than actually getting people to see you, experience you, and great stuff.
Yeah. And so I want everybody to know that um, we're not suggesting that everybody go out and charge $10,000 for a speech. We want to make sure that you grow into that 10K fee. And so you'll evolve over time. In the Wealthy Speaker 2.0, we talk about starting at $1,500 per speech is kind of like, ta-da, you're in the speaking business. You're like official. It's an incredibly arbitrary number. So just know that it could be any number. But really, that's where we might start some of our students. Now, if you are coming out of a big high level job, we may start you at 5 or 10K. Right? We don't know, depending on what was going on in your background. You may have given 200 speeches for free first, and now you're ready to get paid. All right, so this is perfect. The value probably is there. So the best way to know whether or not your speech is kind of landed is when you are getting people coming up to you afterwards, business card in hand. Hey, that was amazing. I need to talk to you about coming in to do another group, or I need to talk to you about another group, somebody that I know that might need what you're offering. This is exactly what we want to be happening. And when you're getting on average 2 to 3 spin-off from every speaking engagement, then you might be able to rest a little bit on the speech. But really, the speech is an evolution, Jen. You've never rested in terms of your content. You continue to evolve and grow it.
Absolutely. Sometimes you're like, oh, I made it. You think, oh, I made it to the pinnacle. I'm done. No, it's constant.
Yeah, exactly. So shore up the value is number one in terms of making sure that you're going out there. You might have a goal to get to 10K, but you want to make sure that the content that you're providing, the problem that you're helping solve is something that people are going to pay 10K for. And I would say that we just raise our fees, 1,500, 3,500, 5,000, 7,500, 10K. It's a gradual effort. Now, sometimes people will come onto the scene. Let me tell you the Kendra Hall story, which some of you already know anyway, because I talk about her a lot. She entered the scene probably around $3,500, and she got busy so fast. I remember a testimonial from her that said she'd raised her fee 3 times in a year in her first year. So just know that you may not have to go all of those graduated steps. It may be 15, 5, straight up to 10. We don't know what the graduation is going to be.
Hey, Jim, why don't you share today where Kendra's at, just approximately?
Yeah. Update. Kendra, I don't know the exact number she's going out at, but let's say she was at 3,500 when we started together. She has 10 times that number today. So she's probably going out at 30, 35,000. I'm not really sure. COVID kind of changed a lot of things. But there's that is a nice feeling for people when they can say, I have 10 times to my business. I have 10 times to my business. Okay, so let's move along to step 2. And this is where I think a lot of people are kind of pulling numbers out of the air, Jen. And we really like inside the school to ensure that people are working off a fee schedule, that they have it posted on their bulletin board when they're talking to a client about a particular engagement. First, they get the client really whooped up. That's a Bob Scheinfeld term, whooped up. They get the client all excited about working with them. And then they talk about fee. They look over at their fee schedule. They say their fee, and then they be quiet. My fee is $7,500 and I travel from Minnesota. Boom. Silence. Really hard for people to be quiet. It's not, but, if, and, or, however, it's say your fee and then be quiet. Okay. So if they, you have opportunities to negotiate if you choose to negotiate. And we actually recommend that you also have a reasons to negotiate kind of list. So Jen, what would be a reason that you might choose to negotiate?
Well, when I was starting out, definitely things like video, testimonial, referrals, that would all be things. Obviously, sleeping in your own bed could be one.
Short timeline sleeping in your own bed. If it's 2 weeks out and you're not going to book it in at full fee and you really want to do the engagement and the client is a good fit, all the stars align, all the boxes get checked. Okay, sure, we might take that piece of business at a reduced fee. But my encouragement is that people just go out at full fee every time, that they quote full fee every time, and that hopefully there are moments when you say, you know what, this is going to be the most brilliant showcase for me as a speaker. I'll be in front of a room full of decision makers. I'm going to do that. A lot of people will agree to that, and I totally get it. That makes perfect sense.
It's interesting, Jane. I did a webinar the other night for a Toastmasters group, a fun group. And somebody had asked me how many times that I spoke for free when I first started out. And I really had to think back on this.
Yes.
And I know, we have hundreds of students, like you've worked with thousands of speakers, thousands and thousands of speakers over the years. And we see a lot of students coming in before they have met with you, like they've done a lot of the free things. But I can honestly say, Jane, I think it was only a handful of times that I actually spoke for free before I started charging. Like it was pretty quick. And there's nothing wrong with the other way. It's just, do you want money or not money? So for me, I wanted this to be a business.
Maybe you came out of the chute with some serious confidence, and that was what allowed you to do exactly that. So
and that really came with working with you. I mean, I started working with you pretty early on, and so you teach yourself how to treat yourself with charging, and you treat others how to teach you. I just met with a speaker this morning who's done a lot of faith-based speaking over the years, done a lot of nonprofits, and she hasn't gotten a lot, maybe like $25 gift card, hey, thank you for coming type thing. And it was interesting. She shared her experience that it was a mindset shift when she was at a conference where it was, here's your $25 gift card, and all of a sudden they had a sponsorship opportunity, and they're going out to these different speakers and paying them, $5,000-$6,000 a couple speakers. When she said, I couldn't believe that we had done all the work for this conference, and because we had accepted, the mileage or food, the rubber chicken dinner, is they didn't come to us and say, hey, would you like the $5,000? Because we had already agreed to do it for, such a nominal thing that they went out and sought after the speakers. And for her, that was a mind shift change. And I'm like, what a valuable lesson to see.
You teach people how to treat you. You teach people, that's an old Dr. Phil saying, you teach people how to treat you. And if they see you as their go-to trainer at a low fee, that is how you're locked in. And it's really hard for you to break out and break up the ranks for that. So even if you do decide to do a freebie, really make sure that they know, like put on your invoice exactly what your fee would have been, and make sure that they know what it is that they're doing to make up the value to you. I loved that early in her days, Kendra said, we'll speak for video. If she could get on a big stage and they were doing a great production, that was really worth it for trade for her. Now, one of the things I want to say about doing these freebies, and actually we're going to move to step number 3, which is run the freebie circuit, is that let's do targeted freebies. Okay, so if you know that insurance is where you want to live, is where you want to speak at insurance conferences, or maybe even anything under the financial services umbrella, then you will want to do your freebies there. Not for the Rotary Club, not for the Kinsmen, but for the local insurance brokers monthly group where they don't really pay their speakers anyway. Let's find the freebies that are going to give you the most bang for your buck, the most leverage. Okay? So be thinking about running the freebie circuit. So basically, the freebie circuit used to be go out and speak to anyone who will listen. And if you're just getting your sea legs and if you're just getting started as a speaker, you definitely want to get stage time anywhere you can. But if you've got a little bit of stage time in, you don't feel like you need that, then really do it in a more targeted approach. Jen, what do you want to say about that?
I agree with it 100%. I can't think of anything else I would add to that. It's nice. You know, one of the things that we were talking about things that you would speak for free on is, you know, getting in front of that ideal audience. The potential for spinoffs is great. Just getting in front of a audience that I would say just always be really intentional about what your purpose is. Is your purpose to serve as a ministry and you got only so many pro bono spots set aside?
Mm.
Hey, then use it for that. If your purpose is to get in front of your ideal audience or to, you know, get video like Kindra, then great. Be very purposeful and intentional. If your purpose is to just get practice, there's purpose to that too.
Yes, absolutely, that there is. And for those of you who are kind of beyond where we're talking about right now, if you're still getting called to do a lot of freebies, then decide how many charity events you're going to do in a year. Maybe you designate one a month, so 12 a year. And if you get 24 calls a year, you say to 12 of those people, I'm sorry, my charitable spots are already booked up this year. Try me again next year. When I worked with Peter Legg out in Vancouver, he was a huge philanthropist. He ran at the time, maybe $20 million company, 100 employees, and he was like the man about town in Vancouver. And so everybody wanted him to come and do their charity event. But this is like a professional speaker. We're charging out, you know, $7,500 and $10,000 for him. And so dates off the calendar were dear to me as his business manager. And so we decided on how many freebies a month he would allot his calendar and then try to stick to that. And another thing you might want to think about is how far out they want to book. If they're booking you a year in advance, that's a year for you to regret taking that booking. So if it's a charity event, try to do it tight in so that you're not, you're not having to turn away paid business 3 and 4 and 5 times before the event actually rolls around. Something to think about. All right, let us move into moving from free to fee. This is step number 4. What we want is that freebies do not get you more freebies. Okay, so you go out and you speak to your local insurance brokers association because insurance is the field that you want to speak in. And here's the thing. The Help Me speech becomes incredibly important here. The Help Me speech is in this book. If you haven't already got your copy of The Wealthy Speaker 2.0, make sure that you grab a copy of that. We outline the Help Me speech in here and a bazillion other ideas. When you go and do a freebie, you must ask for the business. And this is our version of asking for the business. This is something that I learned from someone who just passed last year, the amazing Tom Wininger from Iowa, I believe it is. And he had this thing that he would say right before he closed his presentations. I'll give you my words on it, and but I want to give kudos to him. So right before your closing story, you've got them in the palm of your hand because they're 3/4 of the way through. You would say something like, as you can see, I am passionate about, and then you fill in the blank for your topic. If it's Jen, as you can see, I'm passionate about resilience for first responders. If you know of anyone who could benefit from this information, please come and see me after the presentation's over. Please hand me your business card. Tom had a really specific way of doing it. But I think that's kind of like a synopsis of it. Okay. As you can see, I'm going to sneeze, Jen. Woo.
Yeah. And actually, can I add to that, Jane, while you're sneezing? Actually, do it at your regular events too. It's just a great way to serve. Like if they're like just thrilled with you, why not say it? It's sometimes people aren't thinking, oh, you do this for a business, but in doing so, it really opens up an opportunity so that, number one, you're not like schlepping your products from the stage. Like you don't want to do that, especially in a paid event, but it's simply a way of serving and saying, hey, if you know anyone interested, just come see me after. It's just a real natural, authentic way. Yeah. And for those of us who love to serve, right on.
Tom used to go all the way to, we're going to write on the back of it, Kit, and we're going to send you out our package and blah, blah, blah. But I think that basically rule number one in business is to ask for the sale. And we're just asking for the sale. If you know of anyone who could benefit from what we've been talking about today, please come. I speak for a living. So please come and hand me your business card. So you're planting seeds with them. The other thing you can do throughout your presentation is you can plant little nuggets, little seeds that say, when I was flying out to blah, 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 so-and-so company had hired me to do a speech. And, this was the scenario. So you tee up a story about a company that's got a problem and how, you might have helped them solve it using the same formula. But you're planting seeds along the way. If you want to promote coaching, then you'd say, I was talking to one of my coaching clients the other day. We talk every month and da-da-da-da-da. So you're planting little kind of like subliminal seeds that allow people to go, oh, okay, she does coaching. Oh, okay, she does speaking. And when you say, this is funny. This is from Dean. Hang on.
Ed Tate, Jane, at one of your live events, we had Ed Tate come in, and he was a master at doing this in such a beautiful way through his hilarious stories.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Dean is hilarious.
Yeah, seating casual mentions are the bomb diggity. Thank you, Dean. I love the running commentary, and thank you for kind of putting together our 4 pieces that we've been talking about today. If anybody has any questions about moving from free to fee, please put them in the comments section. We would love to see them. Hey, Pat, welcome. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe you're giving a shout out to somebody. Thank you, Pat. Great. I'm glad that you're here. We would love to know anything that you're thinking about in terms of moving from free to fee. Boy, do I have to really stop and think about it every time I say it. I'm going to say it backwards. So, Jen, one of the things that we see a lot of is industry people who feel as though they've been taken for granted in their own backyard. Like they'll come out of insurance, say, and they'll say, oh, no. I never want to speak in insurance again. They don't value me. But I want you to recognize that you just think that they don't value you. But I have seen people turn that around and go deep into an industry with a new mindset about what's possible. Never, ever decide ahead of time that an industry doesn't have any money or won't pay you, because you do not know. And we have been surprised on many occasions who has money. I just got an email actually last week from I I think it was a SHRM chapter in, say, Oklahoma. And they're asking me for this and this and this, and they're looking for speakers. I get this a lot, actually, and I love being able to say, okay, I think I have, 3 or 4 people who are a good fit, and submit some speakers. Guess how much their budget was, Jen? So my mind kind of started thinking, okay, we'll see how much they have, but I didn't have a number of it. I didn't know if they had a budget. What do you think they had for a budget?
Was it a local SHRM chapter?
No, it was like a conference. It was a conference.
Oh, if it was a local chapter, I would have said it was maybe free.
Yeah.
If it was a state conference and it was a keynote speaker they were looking for,
Yeah.
I'd say 5,000, 10,000.
35,000. Yes. 35,000 was their budget. That surprised me tremendously. Do not assume that you know the budgets of anybody that you are talking to, because oftentimes we don't know.
And you spelt my name right when you sent it back, right?
Here's the thing, Jen. I actually put in a couple of people at lower fees to say, hey, and if you've got a little left over, I put in several people at the fee that they wanted, right? Because most people do want to spend their whole budget, right? But I said, hey, or you could do this and this and this. And I did actually submit a few people at some lower fees. So let's see. Dean is saying, I'm blessed to speak all around the globe, but rarely speak near home. Don't really work at home gigs, but just fascinating to note that your perception, Dean, may be that you can't get paid in your own hometown. But here's another little story that I recognized. Up here in Canada, I have deemed us as cheap, that we don't pay. I kind of think of us maybe like the UK or Australia. The fees are a little bit less. In order to earn a 10 or 15 or 20K fee, you have to be somehow a celebrity or a best-selling author or something like that. But then my friend Joe Calloway booked himself into a 20K thing here in Toronto for one of our big banks. And I thought, okay, people, the Americans are coming and taking our jobs away from us Canadians. And guess what? I bet you there's very few Canadians that are charging 20K. But yet
that is hilarious, because I heard you say that years ago. And it's like, and I know you do a lot of mindset work now. You've got a ton of coaching in it. And it's like, is that a mindset thing or is that true? So that is hilarious. Oh, hey, Pavel, is it?
Pavel, hey, hi from Moscow, Jen and Jane. It's great to see you both here. Thanks for the inspiration. Hey, I'd be curious to know what the going rate is in Moscow for a speech. If you'd like to share that in the comments, we would love to hear. Just obviously, it's going to be in another designation of money, but give us the equivalent in US dollars, just out of curiosity.
Hey, Jean, I want to add to this too. I'm thinking of someone from our school that we both know that has moved a couple times overseas, and he's doing a lot of work. Now, his goal is to be doing a lot of work here in the States. In fact, he just came over from, I forget where he's from, but he just came over to go out east to speak. And so he's
from Lebanon, moved to Qatar, and now he's going to be speaking all over the place. And I think that's great. And for him particularly, he might be quoting in US dollars just to keep it on the, kind of like a same grid. And I think that probably will work quite nicely for him.
But what a cool time to be in this when you're all over, because of the virtual world. Like, hello, like there's no better time than now.
Remember that book a few years ago, The World is Flat? I mean, literally, the world is flat for us right now. You can be speaking in Singapore tomorrow if you want to. My only issue with Singapore is the time. They're going to want me at 4 a.m. or 12 p.m., or midnight. And of course, I don't really perform the best in those things. So I would probably keep mine based on time zone. Where I target would be based on time zone. I could do the UK probably and over there, but I would maybe have a hard time. I'm getting ready on well, it was going to be Friday and they bumped it out a little bit. We're seeing a lot of that right now, but I'm getting ready to do a Latin America speakers group who I love, love, love. This group of people are just so near and dear to my heart. And so they're going to play my speech translated, and then I'm going to be there for Q&A afterwards. And it's going to be so much fun.
Cool.
Hang on a second here. Hang on, Jen, you were just breaking up a little bit there.
I said that is so cool. And I see, now I think I need my glasses on here. The writing's kind of small for me, but I see we've got a response from about fees on there, or a question.
Let's see. Currently running at 20K here in Reno, but still prefer the VIP free to fee impact opportunity. Again, that's me. The thing is that everybody is going to have their own way of doing their business. We don't have a one size fits all model at the Wealthy Speaker School. In fact, I'd like to show anybody, if they would like to learn a little bit more about the Wealthy Speaker School, and come on over. We have a process that takes you from free to fee. We have a process that takes you from picking a lane all the way through to booking speeches and everything in between. And we've got it all narrowed down into really bite-sized little pieces in terms of lessons. But then we have typically some group programming going on every single month that can allow you to get your questions answered and to accelerate even more quickly. So Jen is actually running a mastermind group off of the Wealthy Speaker School called the Acceleration Academy. That's for people who want to go faster and they're looking towards their first 100K. And I have a group called the Inner Circle Mastermind. These people are typically earning 100K and want to get to 500 and 750 and beyond. And so if you have any interest in any of those things, just drop us a line. You can come on over to speakerlauncher.com and kind of see everything that we've got at every different level. We do have something for just about everyone. So Jen, we'd like to keep these LinkedIn Lives a little bit short. And I would love to say thank you so much, especially to Dean. Dean gets our VIP award today for the running commentary. I love that. Thanks so much for tuning in to seeing us today on LinkedIn Live. Jen, going from free to fee is something that we see happening every single day. It's entirely possible. There are budgets out there for you. I know we're talking to some numbers, pie in the sky, $35,000 with you, but I want you to know that getting paid $2,500 is not out of the question. Getting paid $5,000 is not out of the question. $7,500, $10K, not out of the question. So I want you to know that anything is possible. And if you need help with the path, come on and check it out. Thanks, Dean, for tuning in. Thanks, everybody who has been in our stream today. Thanks, Jen, for joining me. And with that, we'll say, see you soon, Wealthy Speakers. Bye for now, everyone.